the news, Sanwo-Olu wins Lagos APC Guba ticket. President Buhari Osinbajo meets as Buhari departs for African Union Summit in Malabo. And Supreme Court reserves judgment on 2022 Electoral Act. We're glad to have you join us on News Now. I am Folashade Ogurinde. The governor of Lagos State, Bauchi State, has been elected as the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, for the 2023 general election. The result was announced on Thursday during the primary, which held at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena, formerly known as Onikon Stadium on Lagos Island. Sanwo-Olu secured 1,170 votes out of a total of 1,198 accredited votes from across the state. President Muhammadu Buhari has held a meeting with Vice President Yemi Osinbajo shortly before the president departed for the African Union meeting in Malabo, Equatorial Guinea on Thursday. The meeting between President Buhari and Osinbajo, which was held at the president's office, comes amid preparations for the All Progressives Congress APC presidential primary scheduled to hold from May 29 to 30. President Buhari is expected back in the country on the eve of the APC presidential primary. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has expressed confidence in winning the All Progressives Congress APC presidential primary election slated for Sunday in Abuja. Osinbajo, who gave this assurance while addressing his teaming supporters from various grassroots groups in Lagos, said he was out to provide real leadership to bring about a new Nigeria everyone has been yearning for. He also said, having served for 7 years as a vice president of Nigeria, his experiences would enable him provide quality leadership for the nation, adding that President Muhammadu Buhari in many ways exposed everything about governing a complex and diverse country such as Nigeria.
The truth of the matter is that God does not make a mistake. The reason why God must have given me those experiences, why he has allowed me to serve for 7 years so far, and I will still serve for another year by the grace of God, is because a time will come when our country will need new leadership. That is the reason why God gave me all that experience and all that knowledge. And that time has come. It is time now. The time has come. And I'm sure that everyone knows that if you have 7 years experience on anything, you must at least agree that with 7 years experience, you will be better than those who do not have any experience at all. So I want to say that God helping me and God helping us, by the grace of God, we will achieve this aim of bringing about a new Nigeria, and that all of us who are here, will see that new Nigeria. But we can only see that new Nigeria if we are prepared to back what we are saying with the votes. We will begin on Sunday with the primaries, and I know that we will have massive support from all of our delegates.
Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed says his state has benefited so much under President Muhammadu Buhari. During a thank-you visit at the presidential villa, Governor Mohammed highlighted significant projects in education sector, youth development, industrial training fund, agro-processing, infrastructure and housing scheme. The visit followed the inauguration of the 23.5 billion naira World Bank-assisted upgraded Bauchi Township water supply scheme by the president. The governor also disclosed that through the support of the federal government, Bauchi State received 12 billion naira to build 2,500 houses across the state.
we seize the opportunity to also thank him for other legacy projects, like the Federal Minister of Finance housing project that we are building 2,500 houses, and of course some of the road projects that he is doing in Bauchi, and some of the projects in education, because we have been lagging behind, not because our son is the Minister of Education, but because of the passion Mr. President has for Bauchi and for the country. We have seen that it is necessary to come and thank him for citing a medical university, a college of education, and other federal institutions in the state. Bauchi State is the third largest, most populous state in the north, and we are so disadvantaged in education. Even in the trade and industry, in the Bank of Industry and other MDS have done so much in Bauchi. But then it was also an opportunity like Oliver Twist to ask for more, because there are so many projects and programs that have not been done, and Mr. President in good faith had given directive and even awarded the project in the oil and gas area where he showed so much passion. That is Alkaleri Putuk, and of course the other one from Kirifi to Gombe Abba, which the Northeast Development Commission is doing.
The Supreme Court has reserved judgment in a suit filed by President Muhammadu Buhari and the Attorney General of the Federation seeking an interpretation of Section 8412 of the Electoral Act 2022. The 7-man panel, led by Justice Mohammed Datijo, says the date to be communicated to the parties involved in the suit. The Apex Bank arrived at this conclusion after taking arguments from parties and adopting their processes. At the proceedings on Thursday, the All Progressives Grand Alliance, ABGA, and the Nigeria Bar Association, NBA, brought an application seeking to be joined as interested parties, but ABGA opted out by withdrawing its application for a joinder, which was subsequently struck out by the Apex Bank. Senate President and All Progressives Congress APC presidential aspirant Senator Ahmed Lawan has suspended his campaign in Borno State following the attack and killing of 32 men over the weekend by terrorists. Lawan, who had already scheduled some engagement as part of his campaign tour across the country to woo delegates ahead of the APC presidential primary election, said it became imperative to put off the political activities because of the sad and ugly incident in the state. Lawan said although he is still in the race to secure the ticket of his party at the forthcoming presidential election, his visit was purely to sympathize with the people.
Over 50 of our citizens, farmers, were killed by Boko Haram Islam. We immediately felt that we must come here for a different purpose. We are therefore here to condole with you, the government and people of Borno State, for this loss. And this is a time for sympathy and empathy and not time for politics. We reserve that for another day by the grace of God when it will be appropriate to come back. So we have come to condole you, and of course we have put off the political engagement in honor of our citizens who were killed by Boko Haram Islam.
Let me convey my deep appreciation to you and for your entourage for this particular gesture, coming to us and commiserate with us over the dastardly act that has happened in Karavalgi that has led to the killing of over 50 farmers.
As part of efforts to prevent building collapses in the state, the Lagos State Building Control Agency has demolished more than 10 buildings out of a total of 200 already marked for demolition. Speaking to journalists during a demolition exercise at Badamosi, Ginla Street in the Mushin area of Lagos State, Director of Quality Control, Aremu Olayemi, reiterated the state government's effort to ensure that building collapses in the state becomes a thing of the past. Some of the affected residents have however faulted the agency, calling for more regulation in the exercise.
For the past 6 months, Lagos State Building Control Agency have been going about identify all distressed buildings within the state. As I speak, we have captured more than 200 distressed buildings. And in the last 1 month, we have removed, more than 10. This is part of it. You know, part of the, role of Lagos State Building Control Agency is to make sure that all the existing structures and all ongoing are fit for habitation. Any distressed or dilapidated building that is not fit for habitation has to be removed. That's exactly what we are doing here. And all the statutory notices have been served.
About 1 month, they came, they served us. So we followed up all the requirements. They asked us to put in for NDT, which we did. So I submitted the NDT. The NDT is the house is subjected to re-engineering. So I submitted the NDT to the office, the district office in Mushin. So they advised us to demolish the building by ourselves. So I insisted that I re-engineer the house by myself, but they said I should do. That's just an advice. So that was just last week. To my surprise this morning, I saw people with crane trying to put down my building without any notification.
My complaint is that there is a way we manage ourselves in Nigeria. And for them to come and demolish it, I see that a system whereby they can come here with their team and the security people, when they pack their materials, like the machine they are using to demolish the place, that will create an awareness for the people, whereby they will know that, okay, these people are really coming. That will give them time to evacuate and everybody will move. But if they keep on telling them to leave the place, as Nigeria that I know, they won't leave.
Political parties have commenced their primaries for the nomination of candidates for the 2023 general elections, with major focus on the top political parties in the country. The ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, and the opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP. The political parties must file the lists of their candidates with the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, by June 3rd to be eligible to participate in the various elections. And as a result, have only this week left to conduct their shadow elections to elect candidates for each position. Ahead of the primaries, the former governor of Bauchi State and presidential aspirant of the PDP, Peter Obi, dumped the party and is allegedly set to pursue his presidential ambition in another party. And to give a clearer view of what should be expected ahead of the presidential primaries, Jide Ojo, political affairs analyst, joins us now on the news. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, the governorship and House of Assembly primaries have held and winners have emerged. But presidential aspirants have also been moving around the country trying to woo delegates. But when you look at the primaries for the APC and the PDP holding at the end of the week, what exactly do you think is at stake for both parties?
Well, this is political season. And all that is happening right now is nothing new. There's nothing novel. There's nothing out of the ordinary with what is happening. What I would just say is that the question should be posed. Why are all the 18 registered political parties choosing to hold their primaries at the end of the month? INEC gave April 4 to June 3rd as the days for primaries. And interestingly, none of the political parties have a presidential candidate as we speak. None of them has conducted their presidential primary. PDP is said to have its own on the 28th and 29th. That's on Friday, Saturday. And then the APC, as we're moving back and forth, now we know maybe it's going to be on the 30th and 31st. But other parties that are not dominant parties, what are they waiting for? Why have they not conducted their own primaries? Why are all the registered parties having their primaries only at the last minute? This fire brigade approach is what worries me. And I really did not find it funny because this is overstretching INEC. Remember, INEC had to be at all of these party primaries. All. According to the Electoral Act, INEC is obligated to be there, having to be given 21 days notice ahead of this party primary. So if you have 60 days window and you choose to not have all the primaries about the same time, that is overstretching the regulator. And that is not fair on the Independent National Electoral Commission.
Well, maybe that's just a moral issue from the end of the parties, because definitely they have until June 3rd to conduct all their primaries. But let's move on now to another matter, which has left many puzzled. That is that of the former governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi, who dumped the PDP. Now, we know there have been calls for the presidency to be zoned to the southeast. Are we to expect the rise of a new political party taking the position of the presidency? What do you foresee?
I'm favorably disposed to Southeast presidency in 2023. But like you said, it's one issue, politics and morality does not mix. I am sounding like a moralist, saying that, the presidency should be zoned to the Southeast. What PDP has done is to throw it open. And actually that is being clever, that's being smart on the part of PDP. Recall that out of the 6 general elections we've had thus far, 1999, 2003, 2007, 2011, 2015, 2019, the South has had the presidency for 4 out of those 6 times. This is the 7th time. And you would believe that in the spirit of equity, justice, and fairness, PDP should zone its presidency to the north. At least for 4 purposes. If the South has had it 4 times, twice under Obasanjo, then Goodluck Jonathan twice, then you will say take it to the north. But because we have a president who is from northern extraction, serving out its 2nd and final time, then that's where the moral issue comes from. Let's zone it to the south. But that moral question is on APC. And APC, too, has played clever by saying, look, we are throwing it open. We are not zoning to any part of the country. Anyway, people will argue, zoning is not in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And even the few political parties that have it in their constitutions have been observing it in breach. So nothing new, and no news about that.
Well, indeed, Jide Ojo, political affairs analyst, thank you very much for your contribution. Well, we'll take a break here, but still to come, federal government to take delivery of emergency potash supply from Canada and Russia. Details of this story and more right after this break.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places, the Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On TV360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
TV360, dissecting the issues.
Welcome back. Now here is a recap of some of our top stories tonight. The governor of Lagos State, Bauchi State, has been elected as the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress APC for the 2023 general elections. The result was announced on Thursday during the primary which held at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena, formerly known as the Nikon Stadium in Lagos Island. Sanwo-Olu secured 1,170 votes out of a total of 1,198 accredited votes from across the state. We also told you that President Muhammadu Buhari has held a meeting with Vice President Yemi Osinbajo shortly before the president departed for the African Union meeting in Malabo, Equatorial Guinea on Thursday. The meeting between President Buhari and Osinbajo, which was held at the president's office, comes amid preparations for the All Progressives Congress APC presidential primary scheduled to hold from May 29 to the 30th. But in case you missed any of our news bulletin or for more updates, do log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we are TV360 Online. U.S. pharmaceutical giant Pfizer has announced that it would sell the patented drugs on a not-for-profit basis to the world's poorest countries as part of a new initiative announced at the World Economic Forum in Davos. Speaking at the conference, Chief Executive of Pfizer, Albert Bourla, says the company's commitment will close the gap between the people with access to the latest treatments and those who lack access, especially in the era of COVID-19 pandemic. 5 countries, Rwanda, Ghana, Malawi, Senegal and Uganda, have committed to joining the cause, with a further 40 countries consisting of 27 low-income and 18 lower middle-income countries eligible to sign bilateral agreements to participate. Well, we'll take a break here and return with more stories in business, the foreign scene, as well as sports. Just stay with us. Welcome back. Simi Saladigo now joins us for more stories in business. What's the latest, Simi?
Welcome to business. Thank you for Lashade. The federal government has disclosed that it is expecting about 105 metric tons of potassium used for blending fertilizer from Russia and Canada in June this year. Managing Director of the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority, NSIA, Uche Orji, revealed this on Thursday at a press briefing on the Presidential Fertilizer Initiative, FBI, in Abuja. Orji further assured farmers that the unavailability of potash, which was the biggest problem last year, has been resolved earlier through the FBI, which seeks to drive fertilizer initiative.
Many of you here, especially ones who are not farmers, will understand that when a farmer asks for fertilizer, most times he asks for NPK. So what is NPK? N is nitrogen, but mostly comes from urea. P is phosphate, which is something that is made from phosphate rock that mostly comes from Morocco. And K is potash. That actually, up until recently, we were buying the bulk of it from, almost all of it from Russia. That is what makes your NPK fertilizer. Now, up until PFI, what was happening? We were importing the whole fully blended fertilizer. No respect was paid to our domestic industry, our domestic blending plant. We're just importing it, subsidizing it, and most of it were not actually getting to the farmers. Every year, the government had to spend a huge amount of money to pay subsidy, and there were complaints of shortages, prices were high, our domestic blending industry were moribund completely. I think at the time, only 4 were operating at about 10% capacity utilization. So the president said, okay, how are we going to address this? How do we get high quality fertilizer to farmers at a reasonable price? And that was the origin of the Presidential Fertilizer Initiative. And this was bring in phosphate from Morocco, bring in potash from Russia, or wherever we might get it, even Canada. We have domestic capacity in urea, first with Indorama, now with Dangote. Why do we leave that and still import urea from other people? So Blend those three together, get the domestic industry to come together and blend the fertilizer. We'll create jobs locally, and that is what the essence of PFI is. Bring these raw materials in, bring down the cost, make it cheap, make it high quality, make it available, create jobs in the country, and that is the essence of PFI.
We'll go on a short break here and be back with stock market reports. Investors maintained positive sentiments from Wednesday's trading session for Thursday's trading. All share index appreciated by 1.06%, keeping basis points at 53,151.32, while market capitalization stands at 29 trillion naira. 27 gainers are led by Industrial and Medical Gases Nigeria PLC and Champion Breweries, their gains totaling a combined 14 naira 76 kobo. At the bottom of the list of investors are NPF Microfinance Bank, followed by UAC of Nigeria with a combined loss of 13 naira 37 kobo. Now, market summary reveals 266 million volume of shares valued at 5.115 billion naira exchanged hands in 5,501 deals. So far, investors in the Nigerian capital market have earned over 1 trillion naira from dividend payouts by companies listed on NGX year to date. Global stock markets have moved cautiously higher on Wednesday or Thursday before the latest Federal Reserve meeting. With a slight increase, our select stocks UK FTSE appreciated by 0.58%. US Dow Jones also rose by 1.42%. Asia's Nikkei closed lower in the bearish territory at 0.27% on fears over inflationary pressure due to the war in Ukraine. That's all on stock. Back to you, Folashade.
Well, many thanks, Simi. And on the foreign scene, President Kais Saied of Tunisia says the country will hold a constitutional referendum for a new republic on July the 25th in defiance of critics who warn it wants to establish an autocracy. The vote to come exactly a year after Saied sacked the government and suspended parliament, moves his rivals have called a coup, but which he argues are necessary to resolve a crippling political deadlock. The president also revealed that a body has been appointed to suggest how responses from the consultation may be fed into the replacement for the constitution adopted after Tunisia's 2011 revolution. And in sport, as part of efforts to encourage sporting activities among Nigeria's physically challenged population, the Lagos State sitting volleyball team has donated some equipment to the Lagos State Sports Commission. While presenting the equipment, the chairman, Legacy Volleyball Club, Kayode Oladele, said the move is to promote sitting volleyball in Nigeria. The Director of Sport Development, Lagos State Sports Commission, Moses Kolawole, while appreciating the gesture, reiterated the determination of the Commission to achieve inclusivity in the state.
We have different type of association for all our sports in Lagos State. When you look at what is happening today, at least one of the members of Lagos State Volleyball Association is the one that came yesterday to donate material for the sitting volleyball. And with the Lagos State Sports Commission, we believe that these people, they are very relevant to us, and we will continue to keep engaging them and encourage them when it comes to sporting activities. We don't discriminate whether they are able or disabled. We believe every one of them, they are the same thing. And Lagos State Sports Commission is ready to go all the way to make sure that we encourage them, at least to support them, to win different medals when it comes to sitting volleyball.
We are in the bid to promote the game of volleyball. But we now realize that there is a section of the volleyball that is being neglected, which is the sitting volleyball. All over the world, they give opportunity to athletes and even the para athletes. And I can see that here is not well promoted. So we had a time to have a talk with them to ask for their need, what they need, to make sure that the game is promoted, is looked into. And they told us, so we went a long way to make available all these things that they need, so that to start promoting them, the sitting volleyball.
And that's the size of our news bulletin. Many thanks for watching. I am Folashade Ogurinde. Bye for now.